Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, Kabam's second stream. So their last stream of day one, to keeping this straight. Saturday the 8th has finished. I've been able to rewatch the stream. I didn't get home in time to watch it live, but I did take the time tonight to watch it. Want to get the synopsis out too. I want to know what's going on too. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, there is a ton in this. Like I will link my synopsis of stream one. There was a lot in that wasn't covered in this stream. You're going to go back, see what like it was called like the Tower of Assault is about, and it was really good. I'm not going to cover all that now. So here we go. Let's get into this. They started off with a massive bang, full rework. You can see a total model rework too for Punisher. This is high. The problem is it's a trophy champion for the banquet, meaning it's going to be very, very expensive or extremely unlikely to get. But at least he's coming. Maybe there'll be other ways to get him. I know I badly want this. But hey, sometimes you gotta let some things go. I have a second slide here for you. Where you can see they're saying this is kind of similar to Jessica Jones. Not necessarily that he will be played similar to Jessica Jones, but the release was similar to Jessica Jones, available for rank rewards in the banquet. That's a blind auction, guys. We're gonna talk about that more. I'll do on probably getting out on Monday morning. I'll get out a full like what do I think about all these things that came out. But full kit reveal, they'll reveal the full kit on December live stream. Just knowing he's coming, he looks so damn cool. Such an amazing character from the comics and the shows, hopefully from movies and all of that. I know I'm gonna want him. I'm gonna be very jealous. A lot of FOMO for me. Well, no, actually not FOMO. I'm just gonna be okay. Have to be okay missing out on this one because I know how expensive that'll be. But I'm excited that he will be in the game. They then went and started listing the champions that are coming. At least one for each month. Slight tease there for January. There's gonna be J. Jonah Jameson. A lot of people in the crowd are like, and then they're saying he's in a mech suit. So this is pretty cool, like a new tech champion there. I'm sure I'm not the only one getting a little bit of Zola vibes, but hey, it is cool. It is cool. And then in February, none other than Blue Marvel. This is someone that so many people wanted in the game for a very, very long time. Hyped to have him come in the game. I think this is going to be awesome. So in February, as a science champion, and then let's see here. We've got the next one, which would be I have a lot of slides for you guys, which would be none other than Pixie. You can see a little bit of the notes on her in March. They did make it clear and say like this is pretty far out in development, but I still think looks really, really hype. And anytime they say sword like magic, that is pretty cool. So I think that type, and those are the champions. But we got a little bit of a reveal here at the very end for another champion coming in January, who I think you're gonna be pretty hyped for. I know I am too. And then this is the other new mode, right? We talked about like the Tower of Assault. That's big. That's in stream one. Hopefully, we hear a little bit more about it in day two. But this is the Coliseum, and I've got a bunch of slides on it. But new mode, multiple health bars. I've got my legal pad here for all my notes. Things layered on as you defeat the health bars, right? Rewards will ramp up as you go, right? So the champ as you beat the health bar, then the fights get a little bit tougher. The health bar, I assume, will get a little bit bigger, and your rewards will get a little bit better too. So now we move on to the next slide here. Points are cumulative and do carry over. The goal is to get through all of the health bars. There's going to be a slight difference between the solo and the alliance, which we will cover here on the next slide. Alliance is entire alliance, not just your BG. So there's the solo mode and then the alliance mode. The like I said, it's not just a single BG, it's going to be the whole alliance. This honestly, and I've heard a few reviews on it so far, sounded like it was actually pretty fun. Remember, this is going to be in place of the weeks that would have been AQ. So literally almost anything is more fun than the maps of AQ. So I think that's pretty cool. And then they talked a little bit more about like the podiums or champion slots. This was really a bit of a relief. It was a little more vague in day one, stream one, and they qualified that a little more, explained a little bit better. This sounds like it's going to be a 3-day event in place of a queue. So far, sounds so good. Obviously, I'm always interested in your thoughts on it. You might see things that I have not, or might have heard a few things or something like that. Now we're on to the next one, which is the rewards. You can say the spoils go to the victors. Solo Coliseum rewards are unlocked inside the game mode. As far as the Alliance one, you can see that I think your prestige, Alliance prestige will come into play. It's something that's taking the place of AQ. I think that is fair to have assumed that, but they did spell that out. And then your Alliance event ranked rewards will be there for that too. And then let's move on to the next slide. And then they're just kind of doing the difference here between solo versus alliance. Solo equals more traditional Everest content. They did call that out, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Kind of cool, actually. We've got all these like ramp up champions that we just don't often have a place to really use, or like they as an exact quote, right? It's like, you finally get there and you throw the big SB2, and sometimes you don't even get to see what the full number was because the health pool on the defender wasn't there. I think this did sound good, and I'm hoping it opens up. I hope this opens up design space for the designers to really go in and maybe not feel like every champion's got to be quick and nuky for battlegrounds and stuff like that. So I actually really like the sound of that. They said more traditional Everest style content, more periodic seasonal content, EOP style. And then you can see the Alliance side and the difference between the Alliance and solo there. And then it's actually coming in very, very soon. This was cool. There's like exact dates on it. You can see that the Alliance version will be launching on December 10th. And then again on December 29th, replacing 2 weeks of AQ. Solo will launch in January. Like this sounded certain. There's not a certain date on the solo there. So now that I'm reading that a second time, maybe it won't necessarily be exactly then, but this sounded like it was on its way, sounded like it was on its way soon, and that they were sure on this. Again, I like that. I like that. I'm excited about that. Now, getting on to some stuff that I think is going to interest everyone. And I will say, I was in the CCP at the time, I was aware of this, but it's been really hard to kind of keep it a secret. But I knew it would be something hype. I wanted Kabam to be able to reveal this, of course, and I think people are pretty excited about it. If you're not, let me know. But they are very clearly not planning to release 8 stars at this time. And I realize a lot of us, especially more skeptical, will be like, so in like 6 months, you will. Uh, Based on the plans they have and the detail that we're about to get into, I think you're going to see like they're fully intending this. They're fully intending, they're not saying never 8 stars, but it's going to be a long time if things are going according to their plan. So I think that's pretty cool. Here, let's get into a little bit more details on what this will entail. They were talking about their motivation. This is Twice Baked Bread. Kind of came out there, and I felt like this guy meant business. Like he was fun, he was interesting, and he brought a good feel to it all. But when he was talking, it felt like he really respected what he was doing and knew what he was talking about, and he was. I felt like he respected the game and the players and their time and their interest. Seemed like maybe he even plays the game himself too. So we're getting into this now. This is like Ascension. Basically, it's gonna be multiple ranks of ascension for your 7 stars. So multiple ascensions for them, not like our 6 stars, where there was only one. The next slide here. It's going to be via these like dusts and tokens here. I have another slide that shows a little bit better. You can see there's multiple like resources are going to go into it. There's the greater primordial dust tier 2. Then there's going to be champion specific ones. You're going to need to have that. You can see like 0 of 1. And then there's this cosmic ascension token. They did talk a little bit about how there's multiple like chase items. Like, of course they're going to sell them, guys. But again, their business. I don't think that's the harm in there. But they're like, we want to have more things for people to be excited about, right? And so you're going to still be able to rank up your champions, to rank them through various ranks, right? 1 through 6 with the 7 stars, but then also the various levels of ascending them as well too. And they're going to be using different resources. I have to admit, I actually kind of like that too. I think, let me know what you think on that one, but that's what it's kind of feeling like to me. I don't think they said specifically that Cole Obsidian would be one of the champions that could be ascended, because look at it, you can see you have a named ascension token. So not all champions, especially immediately, are going to be able to be ascended. But they didn't call out Cole, but they are showing him. I really hope Cole is one of the ones. They're showing here the dust and the tokens. And then also, these are all the things that are going to get increased as they are ascended, multiple ranks. You can see 2 of 11. Yes, 11. So what I'm saying is like, I saw the presentation. I watched this obviously on the live stream. They mean it. They're serious. They've got a lot in the works for this. I will be shocked if we say 8 stars anytime soon. I think they very much intend to do this, and I do think they are interested in making players feel respected in the collection of champions that they have built. You can see there's a new mechanic, Might, which we'll talk about in a minute. Your base stats are going to go up. Your challenge rating is going to go up. So it's very similar to a new star variety, but you're not going to have to collect the champions again. You will have to collect the ascension tokens. I'm not blind. I see it. But I think this does. I think this strikes the right balance. You guys let me know, and obviously we have to see how it actually plays out in game. Now we're getting to this might bar. Let me see if I have actually a better slide for you. I think I took 2 screenshots of this. Yeah, here it is. All right, good, good. All right, so this is the new mechanic. If you think about it, we had like the SB3 bar. We've got adrenaline with the 7 star. So there's been new mechanics usually introduced when a new star variety comes. This sounds really cool. This is gonna be ascended. Basically, you're just gonna build up this ISO burst via just playing It's going to automatically happen. You don't have to trigger it or anything like that. It's just going to happen, and then you're going to just do more damage. And I like the sound of that. There's enough stuff going on in the game. There's sometimes it's almost too much for me to keep an eye on everything. And so the idea of like this thing just building, this resource just building, and then it just hits its limit, and then I just do more damage. I like that. I really do like that. Like so far, this is sounding pretty darn good to me. Again, you tell me though. You tell me though. And then this was the high level overview. Let me see if I had different notes on this. I may have already passed up my own notes. No, I don't think we have. But they're currently planning 11 ranks of ascension, ascending 7 stars. You can see all the various things they're talking about: the champion specific token, class specific token, the dust as well. New ascension materials will be released in batches similar to 7 stars. So I think that's one thing to keep in mind here. Is this will be similar to like them being released into the crystals. I'm just going to pick a champion literally at random here. One that you know I love in Kushala. I might not be able to ascend Kushala for years. We have no idea. We have no clue on that one. But one thing they did make clear, uh, actually, we're gonna get to that in the next slide here. They again, this was that twice baked bread. He talked about a couple different topics, and they jumped around a little bit, but you can see this here even from the crystals. So it seems like new champions, when you pull them, will come with one of their specific ascension tokens. I will admit, I'm not. If I had been there, I would have loved to have asked them a question. They weren't taking questions from the audience. It wasn't totally sure to me or totally clear if every time you pull a new 7 star now, you're going to get the ascension token if they're possibly ascended or not, or if this is like a special crystal. We're gonna have to wait and see a clarification, or if you in the comments feel like, no, 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 I fully understood this. You go ahead and put that in for everyone because I that was one thing where I wasn't totally clear on. And then we'll get to the next side, and this is the collectives. This is another new. It's not a new mode. It's more like a new like initiative. Basically, it's a collection of all of our champions. And you can see here the shared attribute, ranks, rewards, champions, and it's going to be essentially collectives are any sort of shared attribute. They talked about the first one being class, but it's not only going to always be just stuck or firm on class. There'll be a variety of attributes that it could go across. I think they said like champions who bleed, champions who do poison, that sort of thing. I imagine it might tie in with hashtags at some sort of thing. And then the second one shows how easy it is. It sounded complicated, but then when they actually showed this, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty easy. You kind of just get the champions basically by playing the game. As we know, you open the crystals, and then you're going to have these quote unquote captains. Basically, the captain is just the highest variety and rank and power level of whatever champion. So, like your highest star variety thing, there you go. Your highest star variety, Mr. Fantastic. That's the captain for Mr. Fantastic. And then you're going to get things like, let's see here, like attack rating for your science champions. There you go. So, like, whatever the collective was, it seems like that's going to get a bit stronger. This sounded like one of where they tied this in was in how are we respecting of all of the champions, and they kind of addressed like not all the champions are the same level. Some of them, they didn't say some of them are quite bad, but I think that was what, the quiet part was like, hey, this is a way for maybe a champion you aren't playing, you don't enjoy playing, or maybe they're just honestly not as good. It's hard to do them. Champions like we don't even rank on our tier list. They're still doing something for your account. They're really tying in. There's been a lot here, and I'll talk about this more on the video that will go out on Monday about the collection side of this game. Uh, and then when does this come out? This will actually be coming out in spring of 2026. They didn't give a firm date, but obviously spring of 2026. They also seemed pretty certain on this and that they were happy with the direction of it. So I as much as I don't like the like, well, we're trying to do this, they seemed more, this is when it's coming. Less, we're going to try to do it early 2026, if that makes sense. And then this was the part about the new champions with the Ascension, is this will be starting with every champion that started with Pravita Pavarkar and Lizard. So those champions will be definitely possibly ascendable from the get-go, and every new 7 star champion that comes out from then on will be in there. So, our, and I'm just going to say them, your bullseyes, your serpents, your enchantresses. We don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see if Kabam ever win and if they ever give the ascension token. So that could be a way of like the old version of 6 star locking, your Herculeses, your Magic, your Quake. We'll just have to see what Kabam does. This was a lot. There was a lot here. I'm still kind of letting it set in. I don't think I dislike any of it. Just not sure how, like, excited or hyped I am for it. I do like that they're trying things. And then the big one that I think almost everyone, at least 49.9% of us are gonna be incredibly excited. You can see, Mike even there turning around kinda staring at it. Yes, the other champion in January is a complete and full rework of Doctor Strange. They analogize it completely to what they did, with Iron Man, a new model, new abilities, even gonna just be considered a new champion into the game coming in January. That's pretty damn good. I am pumped up for that. As usual, let me know what you got right. Let me know if you got wrong. Let me know if you have more information to add on to that, anything I missed, please put it in the comments. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch a lot of this live on Sunday. I wasn't able to watch this stream live on Saturday night, but I did take the time to watch it afterwards. But I will be getting out synopsis videos, recap videos, and of course my full like thoughts on all this, either Monday or Tuesday. So let me know what you're thinking so that I can help inform my video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.